Hip-hop array, he's the lay. Warlords come out to play. This could be your last day in life. Sacrifice, another Aztec dies.
My name is Fabian Devora, and I work here at Homeboy Industries, and I am a native of Boyle Heights. And we're talking about spiritual encounters, in a sense ghost, in this case, paranormal activity. I think I've experienced some of that in my past, whether it was drug induced or not. But being a very spiritual individual, I tend to believe that we are being watched and we are being guided by those who have either passed away or who seem to be lost within these streets of Los Angeles or in our environments or in our arena of life. There was one encounter that I can share about. It was when I was about 17 years old and I was walking towards the LA River. I am an artist, so at the time I was a graffiti artist. My mother had told me not to leave in the middle of the night, to stay away from the streets, to stay home. So that day I went against my mother's will, and I happened to jump out the window. I lived on Glass near Pecan Park at the time, and I made my way towards the LA River. As I was making my way to the LA River, I found this beautiful fresh white wall that called my name, and I wanted to be able to do a graffiti style lettering on that wall. I wanted to claim it. And so while doing so, all of a sudden when I was working towards that, when I was doing my graffiti, I hear a loud voice, and this was the police officers on the speaker who said, "Hey, you, stop writing on that wall." And so I remember that time I panicked, I got scared, and the police started coming full speed towards me. I ran through this alley located by Anderson in the factories behind the housing projects at the time. Aliso Village was the projects were in existence at that time. So we're surrounded by a lot of housing projects, and a lot of violence and killings and murders have been taking place there throughout the years. So I believe that what my mother had mentioned to me was for a reason, not to leave the home, for the streets are whatever. They were gloomy that night, and I mean they were scary at that night. The essence wasn't great, and so I still went against her will. I got chased by the police. I ran down this alley, and I remember because of the adrenaline, I was trying to find a way to get away from the police. So I found my way, and I jumped through these barbed wires and ended up on the rooftop, which is now located behind Self-Help Graphics, the new location of Self-Help, right before the ocean, where the ocean fish store was at one point. Well, now Self-Help. So I was behind that. And when I got up there, of course the police were roaming looking for me, and I was looking at them from the rooftop as I got in the way, and they left. Yeah, so now I'm on the roof, and it's time for me to get off. It was around 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had to get home, and the police didn't find me. Now the police was gone, and so I was trying to find my way back home, to get off the roof to go home. Now I look at one side of the corner, and it's barbed wires, the same ones that I jumped over the first time, and now these barbed wires were looking threatening to me. So the adrenaline was no longer there, so it was very difficult to just go over the barbed wires. Now I go look on another corner of the room, and there's nothing but an alley, a high drop, and I cannot go through that. To jump down, I could have broke my legs or got hurt. I look to the other side of the roof, and there's a factory and full of cars, and there was a dog there that would take care of the vehicles. So if I go down, the dog would have shoot my ass up. Now I look at afar, and I see a tree, and now that tree is calling me, as it's telling me, come down the tree, jump across the roof into the tree and slide down. And so that was the only way that I felt that I can get off the roof at the time. So I walked towards that tree, and as I'm measuring it, I look over the roof, I look, and I see the tree's not so far off the wall of the roof. So I go, maybe if I run, get some speed and jump, I'll be able to climb. So I look over to measure, and then I see this shadow, and it looked like a hunchback, like a goblin, sort of like this hunchback individual, homeless. And I thought I was seeing things for a minute, and I said, whoa, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. So I looked over the roof again, and then this time he's turning his head, and I'm looking, and I'm starting to get these chills. And then all of a sudden I hear, psst, psst, come here. And I'm like, what the fuck? Psst, psst, come here. And I was like, shit. So I look again, and now he's looking up at me with these glossy white eyes. And I was like, man, I'm tripping. And then again he goes, psst, psst, come here. Psst, psst, come here. And I looked over, and this time he looked at me with this big white eyes and a big smile with big white teeth. And that right there I got spooked as if he was trying to avoid, he was trying to save me or hurt me. If I would have jumped and missed the tree, he was there to receive me and take me to my destiny. Or he was there to frighten me and not allow me to jump that tree, because the time when I looked again and he looked and he smirked and he smiled as this ugly, like black smoke, like a goblin type of dude, hunchback, he scared the shit out of me. So then that's all it took for me to run and jump and get off the roof through the same barbed wire I had jumped. And for me, that was out of the ordinary. It wasn't normal. It wasn't a human being. It was, the presence was so heavy. It gave me the chills. It brought upon fear. It brought upon a spirit that was either waiting for me. So when I jumped, he would take me. So it was dark, and it spooked the shit out of me. And to this day, every time I walk through there, I stay and wonder, was it truly a spirit, or was it a homeless individual, or who was it? But whatever it was, it allowed me not to jump that tree and be here to this day. So that was just one incident, but there's many to come. And I think that I don't take it as superstition. I do take it as something that was meant to happen at the time. It could have been a spirit from those who passed away, for those who were here before us, for some lost soul that has been in those housing projects trying to find his way. And the way he found his way was by allowing me not to jump that day. So as I made my way off the roof, I got home to my mother safely, and maybe that day, it was a day he found his way for helping someone else like myself. That's my paranormal experience.